Tonight on CTV News at 6, the countdown to class for Alberta students. The strike is over, but labor peace is not achieved.
We're going back to the exact same thing, the exact same conditions we left.
Threshold met. The Forever Canadian petition more than meets its goal.
365,000 Albertans have decided that our future, Alberta's future, lies in Canada.
And watching nervously from Edmonton as one of the strongest storms in history hits Jamaica.
We keep listening to the news, every update, but it's gonna be really bad.
Chance of some scattered showers in the Edmonton area early tomorrow, but looks like temperatures should hit double digits in the afternoon.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. In just over 12 hours, students and teachers will be back in Alberta classrooms, marking an end to the 3-week teacher strike. The province's Bill 2 ordering them back to work and imposing a contract passed early this morning. High school, where it's going to be a lot busier tomorrow than it has been for the past few weeks. Connor, what are you hearing from teachers about the legislation?
Well, Jeff, teachers are telling me that the reality of their situation is starting to settle in. Tomorrow, they will walk into classrooms all across Alberta and be professional with their students, despite the strike ending without the Alberta Teachers Association getting what it wanted.
Yesterday was a hard day for teachers in this province, and we have to recognize that, and we have to honor those feelings.
ATA President Jason Schilling says Alberta teachers have put everything on the line for 3 weeks and are unhappy with the way the strike ended.
The government just chose to legislate them back and to strip away their rights while doing it.
We're going back to the exact same thing, the exact same conditions we left.
Teachers Stephanie and Jeremy LaRose say they're excited to see their students again, but some of the reasons they rejected the province's last contract offer still exist. Class sizes will be too big, and while the province promised a task force to tackle the issue, they question how effective it will be.
How often are they going to meet? What is going to be the configuration of people on this task force deciding where the funds should be allocated?
The ATA says the province needs to include teachers as partners, not participants, and there is work to do to rebuild relationships.
The government is going to have to work on some trust issues, obviously, because my colleagues right now are not going to fundamentally trust what government has to say.
Teachers for too long have worried about being the vape police, have worried about being party planners, have worried about coaching and doing everything else. And maybe parents just want us to teach.
The LaRoses say Bill 2 will force teachers to uphold extracurricular commitments for the time being. But next year, they say some teachers may choose to rethink the amount of time they spend on things they don't get paid for. They expect to feel conflicted being back in the classroom.
Make it the safe space and the welcoming environment that we always do for our students.
I'm a social studies teacher. I'm supposed to go back and talk to my students about freedom and rights and all of this when mine have been trampled on as a teacher. That's going to be kind of tough.
The ATA says that teachers will be making up for lost time in the classroom. It says decisions like reducing the number of PD days or the length of November and December breaks is up to individual school boards. Now, Edmonton Catholic has already postponed any professional development days that were scheduled to take place between tomorrow and November 17th, while Edmonton Public will proceed with its fall break in November. Jeff?
All right. Thank you, Connor. That is Connor Hogg live for us from West Edmonton tonight. Now, while teachers and students will be back in school tomorrow, the Alberta Teachers Association plans to fight Bill 2. Unions and the opposition NDP say the government's use of the notwithstanding clause could further erode workers' rights. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
If they're so proud of their legislation, then let us debate it. Let us speak.
The opposition delayed as long as it could, using all 3 hours the government allowed for debate. But early Tuesday morning, the legislature ordered teachers back to work.
Bill 2 is passed.
Order! The legislation overrides teachers' constitutional right to strike and imposes an agreement on the union through 2028. It cites a section of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms called the notwithstanding clause that prevents legal challenges to the bill and limits strike or lockout rights.
It's a matter of allowing government to remove people's rights as barriers to their own policy agenda. That's something we haven't seen anywhere in Canada.
Mr. Speaker, we respect teachers' rights to strike. You just witnessed the longest education strike in Canadian history.
I'm comfortable that the kids will be going back so that they can have that routine, have that structure, continue with their academics and their social development.
The government shows no sign of backing down, so the teachers' union is bracing for a battle, though its lawyers are still analyzing what is possible given the limitations.
We will leave no stone unturned to try to get government to reverse this decision that they made to invoke the notwithstanding clause.
President Jason Schilling says he's getting supportive messages from unions across Canada. One political scientist says in the meantime, it's up to Albertans to pressure the government to change course.
That's where we're at right now. We're at does Alberta care about removing fundamental rights that are enshrined in the Charter?
Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta has used the notwithstanding clause once before. In 2000, the Progressive Conservatives used it in relation to the federal government's Marriage Act. The Supreme Court eventually ruled that it wasn't applicable. This Thursday, some teachers may face empty classes with no kids to teach. That's because students across Alberta have organized a large-scale walkout to protest how the province ended the strike. The movement started with just a few schools. Now it has ballooned to more than 30. That includes schools from Edmonton, Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, and Calgary. Organizers say they're standing in solidarity with their teachers.
We are the future doctors, future lawyers, future politicians of the world, and if we don't have a stable and healthy learning environment, then we will not be successful.
The walkouts range in scale by location. Some are scheduled for a couple of hours, others through the majority of the school day. Some students have opted for a sit-in option, where they'll stay in class but refuse to do any schoolwork. The Forever Canadian petition asking if Alberta should remain part of Canada has overwhelmingly surpassed the 300,000 signatures required. As Amanda Anderson reports, the citizen-led petition is now in the hands of Elections Alberta for verification.
Thomas Lukasik unloads the final 2 boxes containing Forever Canadian petitions signed by Albertans who want to stay part of Canada.
We're proud Albertans, and there's a faction of the society out there that wants to take that away from us. They want us to leave Canada, and that's not going to happen.
There's just no question that Alberta is an important part of Canada, and to have that questioned is really threatening to us.
Lukasik and thousands of volunteers set out in August to collect the 294,000 signatures needed to initiate a possible referendum.
In a short period of time, 456,365,000 Albertans have decided that our future, Alberta's future, lies in Canada.
About 164,000 more signatures than needed.
Albertans have awoken. They have found their voice.
The petition is a first for Elections Alberta under the Citizen Initiative Act.
So the process that we have in place at Elections Alberta is to walk through each of those signatures and ensure that they do meet the Citizen Initiative Act.
They've hired and trained 100 people to cover shifts 7 days a week to work in pairs for accuracy. Once verified, it goes to a legislative committee for review, who will make recommendations to government or suggest a referendum go ahead.
We're asking the Premier to do the right thing and ask Alberta MLAs to vote on this issue and put separatism to bed once and for all.
CTV News reached out to the Premier's office for comment. Alberta's Justice Minister replied, congratulating the group for collecting so many signatures, adding once it's verified, they'll decide how to proceed under the legislation. Elections Alberta now has 60 days to verify the signatures. Results will be released to the public in early January. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta's new license plate slogan could be facing trouble over a trademark. The province plans to replace Wild Rose Country with Strong and Free. As Nicole Weisberg reports, a New Brunswick woman has owned the trademark for the term nearly 20 years.
I just love to see Canadians standing up and waving the Canadian flag.
New Brunswicker Denise Dow is a proud Canadian. So much so, 18 years ago, she decided to tie her livelihood to it, trademarking the phrase strong and free, heard in the national anthem, for merchandise use.
I establish relationships with Canadian manufacturers, as you'll see on my webpage. There's half a dozen there. And they all provide the product, sell the product, and they pay me a royalty for the use of the logos.
She says last week, people familiar with her brand began reaching out to tell her about the Alberta government's license plate plans.
I talked to my trademark office, and the best case scenario is that we come to an agreement.
Details of Dow's trademark include license plates of metal, so she believes charging a nominal fee is reasonable and has an idea of directing some money to an Alberta charity.
I'm not looking for a battle. I want it to be a win-win.
We've spoken to our lawyers about it. There's no copyright infringement. Let's be clear. This is the Alberta motto. It's on our crest. Alberta strong and free.
While the Service Alberta minister insists there is no issue, this trademark lawyer says it could be argued in court.
You know, even a public body like the provincial government can infringe a private trademark.
However, Robert Nissen says the government could make a number of arguments. The number one, he says, would be saying this is ornamental use instead of trademark use.
You can only buy them from a registry, from essentially agents of the government. And so it's not like you would pick a license plate because it says strong and free.
In that case, he says Dow could argue this depreciates the value of her brand. She hopes it doesn't come to that.
I just believe that, they would do the right thing.
Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Edmonton Chamber of Commerce has released its 2025 State of Economy report. The report highlights where Edmonton is performing strongly and where the city can improve. That includes adjustment to taxes to attract more businesses to Edmonton. Another challenge it notes is the slowdown of job growth. The Chamber says it wants practical options to improve Edmonton's sustainability and competitiveness within 24 months.
We're calling on Mayor Knack and the new City Council to establish the Mayor's Fiscal Task Force as soon as possible, and I would hope that it's going to be in the next 100 days of their activity.
The Chamber will host a luncheon and conversation to go over the report November the 7th. A community is coming together to help a family that's been forced out of their home after it burned because of fireworks. Merrick DeCash reports.
Work is underway to fix Travis Kammerer's home after sparks from fireworks caused a fire in his garage last week.
We got a full scope of how much work is going to be involved in repairing the home and how much damage to the inside contents. We got a bit of a scope of that yesterday, and it's quite a bit.
The family's car was torched by flames. The neighboring house was also damaged. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services estimates the fire caused about $175,000 worth of damage. While waiting for insurance funds, Kammerer started a GoFundMe.
Donations range from like $10 and to $100, and and one gentleman, I'm going to try to locate him. He donated $500 to my family. I don't know what to say to that.
Verinder Buller lives a few blocks away. He says he was devastated when he heard the news.
I was heartbroken to see how one person's celebrations could become other person's nightmare.
Buller asked his friends and family to help.
When I put an appeal out there, I told people we need 200 people who can donate like $20 each. That was the initial goal that we set it up.
Kammerer says it could be 6 months before his family is allowed to move back in. He says he is grateful for the support of the community.
We've had strangers offer us their homes, their vehicles. So, yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming.
3 people are facing criminal charges in relation to the fire. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
The RCMP detachment in Sherwood Park has reopened after someone brought in a suspected explosive. Last night, RCMP say a member of the public brought an apparent explosive device in for disposal. The area was locked down until late this morning. The item, which RCMP believe is an old military ordnance, has been removed and the detachment is now operating as usual. RCMP is reminding anyone who finds something they believe to be an explosive to call 911 and to not handle the device. It's being called the strongest storm to ever hit Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa touched down on the island nation earlier today. Members of the Jamaican community here in Edmonton are worried for family back home. CTV's Gates Guarin has more.
As Tracy Ann Beckford-Aird preps for the incoming lunch rush at a Yamadé Jamaican restaurant, her mind is somewhere else. News of Hurricane Melissa touching down in Jamaica has her thinking about her family back home.
We keep listening to the news, every update, but it's gonna be really bad. I remember 1988 Gilbert, I was 10 years old then, and it was bad. And this one is like category 5. Gilbert was category 3. This one is 5, so it's gonna be way worse.
She says her family is sheltering in place and doing what they can to stay safe, while she does what she can to keep in touch.
Sometimes the communication will get cut off because when the light is out, it will cut off, but after we can hear from them after.
She says it's hard to be so far away from them, knowing there isn't much she or anyone can do while the storm continues. The U.S. National Hurricane Center estimated maximum sustained winds of 295 kilometers an hour when the hurricane made landfall. The Category 5 storm is expected to be one of the most powerful hurricane landfalls on record in the Atlantic Basin.
Well, we are all worried and scared, and we're sitting by the phone and sitting by the TV, and we're watching and we're open and praying day and night that this thing don't happen.
James Scott owns the grocery store next door. He's calling for his fellow community members to step up. He's pledged to donate $1 million Jamaican dollars, or more than 8,600 Canadian.
When we see stuff like this happening to your motherland, where you're from, it hurts. And you have to do as much as you can to help, and help the government and help the people.
Beckford-Aird says Jamaicans are resilient.
We know that we can do it. We can do it. And we are people that when things happen, we will bounce back. It will take time, but we will come back.
And will weather the storm in front of them. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Yeah, as feared, Josh, that storm has proven to be a monster, and it's still moving slowly north.
Yeah, it's down to a Category 3 now. It's off the north coast of Jamaica. We've been watching this since the middle of last week, and when you looked at some of the modeling, this was pretty much worst-case scenario. This was as bad as it was ever expected to get. It is the third strongest hurricane ever in the Atlantic Basin. As we said, it's Category 3 now. It's still going to do some significant damage to parts of Cuba and then the Bahamas. And communications have gone out in Jamaica for the last number of hours. It's going to be a while before we get a clearer picture of just how catastrophic the damage has been in Jamaica. 5 degrees in Edmonton right now, 2 to the south of the city. It is cooled off really quickly at the international airport. We get to 5 degrees down to, or 8 degrees rather, for a daytime high today. 5 is the average. So 3 degrees above average for the high and 3 degrees above average for the low this morning, as we stay just above the freezing mark, and should do the same tomorrow because you can see the clouds have rolled in the last little bit. That's the shot from the CTV drone after blue skies pretty much all day today. A bank of clouds sliding in from the west, and that is already producing some showers and some snow in western parts of the province, and it may produce a few scattered showers early in the day here in Edmonton tomorrow. We'll drop to about a degree or two above zero overnight tonight, and then 10 or 11 with mixed sun and cloud tomorrow afternoon. Let you know how long those double-digit temperatures will stick around in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Coming up on CTV News at 6, from alumni to recruiter.
We want them to come here and be a Golden Bear and stay a Golden Bear all your life.
Why former Golden Bears are challenging hockey players to stay in Edmonton. Also ahead.
I like them. I think they look great.
How the Oilers are honoring military members at tonight's game. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Some University of Alberta Golden Bears alumni are teaming up to help their former program. New recruiting rules for college universities have some Canadian players heading south. As Nariman Issa reports, alumni are challenging hockey players to look at Edmonton, asking, do you have what it takes to be a Golden Bear?
Rick Peterson sits in the stands at the University of Alberta's Claire Drake Arena. Long gone are the days when he suited up for the U of A.
So I played on the Bears between 72 and 76, and we won the Nationals in 74, 75.
He's now sharing his experience with a new crop of players.
This is more than just a winning team. These are values that are going to stay with you all your life, and this is a winning attitude that's going to stay with you in every single thing you do.
Golden Bears alumni have launched a social media campaign aimed at junior hockey players.
We're saying, you got what it takes to be a Golden Bear, right? Do you have what it takes to be here and to be part of what we've built here?
The initiative comes after the NCAA changed its rules regarding recruiting and now allows players in Canada's 3 major junior leagues to compete at American colleges.
There's going to be a lot of players, I think, initially that want to give NCAA a go, no matter what. But I think there's also players, especially local players, that may want to come back.
One of those players is Aiden Yakimchuk. The defenseman spent 3 years playing in the NCAA before signing with the hometown team.
Just playing in St. Louis area, it was kind of a trek to get out there. So it's nice that they get to come out to a few games and I get to play in front of my family instead of just on TV.
Peterson hopes players realize the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the border.
We want them to come here and be a Golden Bear and stay a Golden Bear all your life.
A hockey bond that can't be broken even after hanging up the skates. Nariman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Edmonton Oilers will debut their new alternate jerseys during tonight's game.
I like them. I think they look great.
Tonight's contest against the Utah Mammoth will also honor military members. 50-50 proceeds will go to the 4-wing Military Family Resource Center Society in Cold Lake. The team lost in overtime Sunday versus the Vancouver Canucks. Coming off his 800th career NHL game, Leon Draisaitl spoke about his team's slow start to the season.
Yeah, I think the last 2 was better. Still think we got a long ways to go to, to get to where, our expectation is.
The puck drops at 7:30 at Rogers Place. Still ahead, escalating fear factor.
The wind howled and the bats swore.
We'll show you how a local Halloween display took nearly 2 months to build.
It's gotten bigger every year. I'm not sure how we're going to top this one.
You get a chance of some showers tomorrow morning here in the Edmonton area. And if you're already thinking about Halloween and trick-or-treating, could see some showers late in the day Friday as well. Your 5 and 10 day forecast right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A family in northeast Edmonton is taking Halloween to the next level.
The wind howled and the bats swore.
A haunted castle stands on the front lawn of Dave and Tammy Awanik's home in the northeast neighborhood of Beacon Heights. It took the couple 7 weeks to build and decorate the spooky display. The castle is more than 6 meters long and 3 meters high.
It's gotten bigger every year. I'm not sure how we're going to top this one because it's pretty much the whole front yard.
The way their eyes light up and, it's like in awe and amazement. And the kids are like laughing and enjoying themselves and having fun. That's Halloween.
Couple is asking trick-or-treaters for food bank donations to enter the castle. You love that, don't you, Josh?
It's for the kids. As long as the kids love it, that's all that
it's inspirational. You can do something like that next year, maybe?
Nope. That will never go up at my house. Take a look outside right now. The Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right over its free. 5 degrees in Edmonton right now after hitting 8 for a daytime high today. Fort McMurray only got to 1. It was 1 for a morning low here in the city. 7 degrees in Red Deer, 6 in Jasper this afternoon. There's your snow starting to get spread into western and northwestern Alberta out ahead of that big area of low pressure. Also some showers here further to the south. This has started to flip over. Looks like Rocky Mountain House and up to the northwest. This cloud will stick around for the rest of this evening, and as you get towards 11 p.m., midnight-ish, there is a chance that you may see a few scattered showers in and around the Edmonton area as well early tomorrow morning. 7, 8 a.m., you might see a few scattered showers. Most of the rain, though, as it starts to get a little more organized, will be in east central Alberta. We'll show you that in a second. This is 8 a.m., though. There's your snow, high level southeast through towards Cold Lake. We do still have snow on the ground in parts of northeastern Alberta. South of Cold Lake, sort of a rain-snow mix through the course of the day. And then from around Highway 16 and south should all be rain as opposed to mixed precipitation or snow. And you can see this is 11 a.m. This is all basically developing east of Edmonton and then moving away from the city. There is one more slight chance tomorrow evening for a brief spotty shower, about 8, 9 p.m., but I've left it out of the forecast. Looks like a pretty slim chance. For most of tomorrow, you're just looking at a mix of sun and cloud, and then partly cloudy skies on the way for Thursday, and a little cooler Thursday than what we'll get tomorrow. Should be about 10 or 11 for a high tomorrow, closer to 8 for a high on Thursday. Right around the freezing mark in Fort McMurray, Peace River, high level, and Cold Lake right now. We're still a handful of degrees above zero, though, in Edmonton, Red Deer, and Jasper. Temperatures will slide to about a degree or two above zero overnight tonight. That'll be low. Wind, not bad, about 5 to 15 kilometers per hour. Get cloudy skies overnight and maybe a few scattered showers there early in the day. Up to about 10 or 11 with partly cloudy skies tomorrow afternoon. And you notice the wind stays pretty light for most of the day, about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. It looks like it could get a little bit breezier later in the day on Thursday. 8 degrees and partly cloudy Thursday. There's Halloween. We'll start the day partly cloudy. Clouds will increase as the day goes on. You get into the afternoon, evening hours, decent chance of seeing some showers in the area, and they may flip over to a little bit of rain-snow mix there through the evening on Friday. Back to the 9 or 10 degree range, though, for daytime high Saturday, Sunday. And speaking of back, clocks fall back. Early Sunday morning, daylight saving time comes to an end. So don't forget to set your clocks back 1 hour. Temperatures next week in the 5 to 8 degree range, which is still slightly above average. So not bad here for the end of October and early November, and certainly nothing resembling a real cold spell anytime soon.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, a monster storm slams into Jamaica.
It will cause catastrophic damage, life-threatening damage.
Hurricane Melissa roars over the island nation, and
what will you remember most about being part of what is now tied as the longest World Series game in history?
For me, it's going to be the excitement.
What a game. Jays fans look past a thrilling 18-inning World Series loss.
Basement Systems Edmonton. Contact us today for all things basement-y.
The most powerful storm to ever hit Jamaica is moving over the island nation. As ABC's Rena Roy reports, damage is expected to be severe, and several other countries are in the path of Hurricane Melissa.
Palm trees blown by powerful winds, pieces of roofs getting torn off from homes as Hurricane Melissa rips through Jamaica is one of the most intense hurricanes on record to make landfall in the Atlantic Basin. Destructive sustained winds up to 185 miles per hour, extreme rainfall pouring down across the island after the storm gained strength in the Atlantic.
The really, really warm ocean temperatures and ocean heat content just fueled that storm into a situation where it could rapidly intensify and become a seriously catastrophic situation.
Video shows Treasure Beach getting hit hard. The Category 5 storm coming ashore near New Hope on the southwest side of Jamaica, causing devastating flooding and storm surge up to 13 feet.
It will cause catastrophic damage, life-threatening damage. There is very little that can stop a Category 5 hurricane.
You can see this river flooding in St. Catherine Parish. This bridge overtaken by water, debris floating down the river.
Flooding is a major issue, not to mention the infrastructure damage
of our road network and our bridges and, of course, obviously structures.
Rescue crews standing by and ready to go. All airports shut down. Many tourists now stuck, forced to ride out the storm, including this couple from Arkansas who were celebrating their 10-year anniversary, now unable to get home to their 4- and 8-year-old children.
We've been praying a lot. They were expecting their parents back on Sunday. We don't want to tell them Mommy and Daddy is stuck in another country.
Jamaican officials say they plan to reopen at least one local airport by Thursday, but it remains to be seen just how bad damage will be. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
The Prime Minister is in Singapore to meet with the country's political and business leaders. Later this week, he'll have a face-to-face with China's president. Judy Trin reports.
40% of global trade coming through here.
As he surveys Singapore's massive state-of-the-art port with its CEO, the Prime Minister is reaching into his Rolodex to find new partners to invest in Canada's major projects.
Our Prime Minister is very well connected globally to not just political leaders, but to corporate leaders, leaders of significant investment firms, sovereign wealth funds.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is being courted. Sana Takaichi, Japan's first female leader, gave Trump a golf club owned by her predecessor, the late Shinzo Abe, and promised to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize. Then they signed an agreement to cooperate on critical minerals.
But tonight I'm more confident than ever that the friendship between the United States and Japan is strong as it can be.
After missing each other in Malaysia, Carney and Trump will both be in South Korea for the Asia-Pacific Economic Summit. At APEC, both have bilateral meetings set up with China's Xi Jinping. When asked if Canada would break with the U.S. and drop tariffs on Chinese EVs, Carney said it's too soon to decide.
There's no preset offer issue. This is the difference between relationship and transaction.
The Prime Minister will spend less than 24 hours in Singapore before traveling to South Korea for another economic summit. Tensions are expected. Since Trump broke off trade negotiations, he said that he will not meet with Carney at APEC. Judy Trin, CTV News, Singapore.
British Columbia Premier David Eby says his province is moving forward with anti-tariff ads aimed at the U.S.
It is absolutely essential that we talk to Americans about the implications of tariffs.
High tariffs inevitably...
It comes just days after Donald Trump blamed an Ontario ad campaign for his cancellation of trade talks with Canada, prompting criticism from the opposition.
The reality is that premiers are stepping up to fill the void left behind by Mark Carney's broken promise.
Carney says trade talks with the U.S. had been making progress until the Ontario ad abruptly ended them. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says a series of U.S. military strikes in the Eastern Pacific yesterday killed 14 people and left a lone survivor. Video posted by Hegseth appears to show the attack. It marked the first time multiple strikes were conducted on the same day as the Trump administration accelerates its campaign against boats allegedly involved in drug trafficking. The strikes have killed at least 57 people and escalated tensions between the U.S. and both Colombia and Venezuela. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered immediate and powerful strikes in Gaza after Israel accused Hamas of violating the 2-week-old ceasefire deal. The order came after Israel reported Hamas had fired on its forces in southern Gaza and accused the militant group of returning the wrong remains in the process of returning remains. Hamas denies firing on Israeli forces and says it will now delay handing over the body of a hostage in response to the order. Disappointment and fatigue for Blue Jays fans after last night's 6 hours and 39-minute marathon gave the Dodgers a 2-1 World Series lead. CTV's Adrian Gobriel is in Los Angeles.
High fly to center. Varsho back. Game over.
As Canadian Freddie Freeman put a pin in Game 3, Blue Jays fans in attendance in Los Angeles shared one common thought.
How are you feeling?
Tired.
And with good reason. The 18-inning game that tied a Major League record for the longest in World Series history took 6 hours and 39 minutes to complete. 19 pitchers took to the mound for both the Jays and the Dodgers. Combined, they threw 609 pitches.
My heart has never beat it so fast.
Too many bases loaded and no runs. Too many innings, no runs.
While draining at times for fans and players, there were also moments of levity, including a 14th inning stretch.
And that's what's going on right now.
What will you remember most about being part of what is now tied as the longest World Series game in history?
For me, it's going to be the excitement, all of the energy that was coming from the players, but the fans as well. And
it was exciting, exhilarating, exhausting, and most of all, truly unifying.
Longest game in World Series history, whatever it is, tied for it. I mean, these guys are enjoying it. You know, they were in the right mindset and the right headspace the entire time.
This postseason is proving to be a marathon. The race is still far from over.
Going to be running on adrenaline tonight, but let's go, Jays, go.
The most significant statistic from last night's game may have come from Shohei Ohtani. 2 doubles, 2 home runs, becoming the first player in Major League Baseball postseason history to reach base 9 times in a single game. Now, the Jays are down, but they're not out. The sun is still shining here at Dodger Stadium. It's a new day at the ballpark. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Los Angeles.
Coming up, tough job market.
I'd go there in person, I'd write cover letters, talk to the hiring manager, and nothing.
Why it's so hard for young people to find work and what the federal government is planning to change that. Also ahead, Canada Post announces management layoffs as it restructures. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar holding at 71 cents U.S. Oil down $1.16, closing at $60.15 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost more than $36 today. The TSX and Dow Jones both finished the day up 143 points and 161 points. Canada Post says it is laying off dozens of managers as it looks to cut costs during the ongoing contract disputes. In a memo shared with staff today, Canada Post says the move is part of its major restructuring efforts to meet the shifting demands of the Postal Service. Canada Post will be heading back to the bargaining table later this week with the union representing thousands of postal workers. Those workers went on strike more than a month ago. Disruptions were dialed back in early October when the union transitioned to rotating strikes across the country. Amazon, meanwhile, delivered layoff notices to thousands of workers today as the tech giant plans to increase its use of artificial intelligence. The layoffs affect multiple divisions, including Amazon Web Services and Prime Video. Amazon executives have said the use of AI tools would automate routine tasks, especially in corporate offices. Amazon has more than 1.5 million full and part-time workers. A pressing issue expected to be addressed in the upcoming federal budget is jobs. Young Canadians are struggling to find work even in minimum wage paying positions. CTV's Kathy Lee has more on the struggles of job seekers and the help that may be on the way.
I've been rejected at Superstore twice.
It's a small but sharp blow to her confidence. Rejection message after rejection message. The sting lingers.
I'd go there in person, I'd write cover letters, talk to the hiring manager, and nothing.
16-year-old Alexandra D. has submitted close to 100 applications this year and only recently landed something.
It's really hard to get a minimum wage job.
Jaden White knows the struggle too well. He went months without a stable job.
It's definitely discouraging. You kind of feel that you're not going to have a future in this country.
And after applying for hundreds of entry-level positions, no luck for this post-secondary student.
The best way I could just do is just hold on to hope, keep applying for jobs.
According to Statistics Canada, the youth unemployment rate was 15% in September. Excluding the pandemic years, that's the highest rate since 2010.
It's harder for new job seekers to find work. Young people are especially vulnerable to that, environment where firms aren't necessarily hiring new workers.
The number of positions that firms are trying to fill down 15% compared to last year.
The market's just becoming more and more and more saturated. Applications are coming in fast and furiously for every position.
In a statement, the Federal Jobs and Families Ministry says it has a plan that includes generating and protecting hundreds of thousands of jobs, connecting Canadians to opportunities faster, and upskill and train workers. With the federal budget nearing, Brody Gomez is counting on support.
It's finding solutions that align with not only Canadians, but also businesses.
For Alexandra, she's off the job hunt hamster wheel for now.
I'm definitely relieved.
And hopes the process is a bit easier the next time. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
The second phase of ticket sales for the FIFA World Cup is underway with another 1 million tickets up for grabs. The draw runs until Friday morning at 8 o'clock our time and includes a domestic exclusivity time slot for fans from the 3 host countries. This gives fans from Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. first dibs on single match tickets for games in their own country. Interest in flights to Los Angeles has spiked since the Blue Jays made it to the World Series. Travel search engine Kayak says searches for flights from Toronto to Los Angeles are 8 times their usual volume, while searches for flights from Los Angeles to Toronto have increased by 6 times. Meanwhile, data from OpenTable found that restaurants saw a 38% increase in activity during Game 7 against the Seattle Mariners. Still ahead, sleepy fans.
Tired. At my age, you got to get to bed.
On the exhaustion, fatigue, and emotions being felt by Blue Jays fans.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Wednesday, the city will swear in its new mayor and city council. What you need to know, plus how big of a problem are porcupines in our city, and how to avoid you or your pet getting killed.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
Blue Jays fans are disappointed and exhausted today after a marathon 18-inning loss to the Dodgers in Game 3 of the World Series. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more on the fatigue and emotional roller coaster being felt by baseball fans.
Game 3 of the World Series was historic. A baseball marathon, an emotional roller coaster ride. Blue Jays fans who stayed up until early Tuesday morning were crushed and
tired.
Some fans tried to watch the entire game.
But I was too tired. At my age, you got to get to bed.
Others chose to look away.
I couldn't believe it when I heard it went 18 innings.
Ohtani.
The stress was too much, so they turned off their TV.
I'm checking the phone every few minutes to see what the scores are.
Even some hardcore fans decided staying up until almost 4 a.m. on the East Coast wasn't worth it.
Once it goes to an extra inning, you know there could be a lot more. So I just said, no, this is it. I'm done.
At a Rogers Centre watch party, about 1,000 dedicated fans stayed until the bitter end, with the score tied 5-5 and 3 a.m. Eastern fast approaching.
High fly to center. Varsho back. Game over.
When Freddie Freeman stepped to the plate in the 18th inning, for some it was merciful, a mixed blessing.
Disappointed the Blue Jays lost, but happy I got to go to bed.
Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Bittersweet. 2 degrees tomorrow morning, 11 degrees tomorrow afternoon. There's a chance of a scattered shower in the area early in the day tomorrow. Most of the day should be a mix of sun and cloud. Somewhere in the 8 to 10 degree range for Thursday, Friday, and through the weekend. And chance of some late day showers on Halloween. And clocks going back 1 hour. Daylight saving time ending this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit CTV News.
You really didn't want to talk about the Jays, hey?
No, you know what? I don't want to spoil anything. I just want to go home and just hit play on the PVR and enjoy it for myself. It's going well, right?
2-1 Jays.
There we go. All right. Thanks, Josh.
Goodbye.